Hey, it's Zane. Welcome back. Hope you're doing great. Thanks for tuning in once again. It's great to be back in Oz. I arrived back late last night and I'm coming to you on just a handful of hours sleep. So hopefully my message comes across loud and clear for you here today. But I want to talk about self-custody today in this video, an important conversation. And this is kind of in response to some of the questions and comments I got from yesterday's video, where I spent about 10-11 minutes, you can see it here on my channel, talking about why I believe it's so important to kind of tread very carefully when it comes to being enticed or seduced into some of these Bitcoin lending products that are surfacing very, very fast. And we have to understand that the financialization of Bitcoin as an asset class is evolving very, very rapidly. This is going to move at breakneck speed. And so the optionality that you and I are going to have in the future is going to be significant. But I really think that right now, the best thing we can do is to just focus on the most important thing, which is to stack sats, as they say, as hard as you can, buy as much Bitcoin as you can, as quickly as you can, making sure that you've got that 4+ year time horizon as a minimum. Number two is to just ensure that you really quieten the noise. I believe that, it's going to get very chaotic out there. There's going to be people talking about Bitcoin who you never thought would. And this is what happens when you have a disruptive new technology that the mainstream and the masses start to wake up to. This is going to happen, and your hairdresser, your gardener, your dog groomer, your Uber driver, all of these people are going to start talking about Bitcoin. Your mother-in-law, your father-in-law, your best mate at the pub who thought it was a scam or a Ponzi scheme, even the Today Show, they're all going to be talking about Bitcoin very, very soon. And so it's going to get chaotic. There's going to be innuendo. There's going to be mixed messages. People are going to make comment about Bitcoin who haven't done any work on it, haven't done any research, don't really know what it is. Many people are going to be drawn into Bitcoin for the wrong reasons. And so our job amongst all of this noise is to just keep learning, keep growing, and keep focused on those really important parts, which is to stack, hold, and to secure your Bitcoin in the ultimate way, which of course is self-custody. So I want to get into this self-custody conversation because it's so important. We have to understand and remember that Bitcoin is designed to be sovereign money. Bitcoin is designed to be sovereign money, but only if you take it into self-custody. And we again have to remember that Bitcoin, it came out, it was released to the world, it was a gift to the universe on the back of a crisis moment where the central banks and the banking system and the issuance of toxic loans and drawing people in who to participate in this financial system, this Ponzi scheme, got their lives hurt because of this when the GFC came out. And Satoshi, whoever that individual is or was, many believe that Satoshi has passed on now. Maybe it was a group of people, but many believe that the the work that was done in creating this protocol, this ingenious monetary system known as Bitcoin, it was a long time coming. And it was a moment in time on the back of the global financial crisis where this protocol was a gift to the world as an opportunity for the everyday person who was constantly getting ripped off by the debt-based system, for them to protect themselves, for them to participate in a sovereign way, to be their own bank, to separate themselves from the banking system, from the establishment. And the only thing that truly allows that promise to be fulfilled, in my opinion, is self custody. Now, there are various other solutions out there. It can be all very confusing, very overwhelming. I understand all of that. I've been down these rabbit holes myself, so I know what it's like to kind of put it in the too hard basket. But I would seriously implore you, before this market really starts to get crazy, which is going to happen very, very soon. The tailwinds we have behind us are significant. We have to keep remembering the biggest pools of capital are coming for Bitcoin. 95% of the population still has no exposure to Bitcoin. This is going to drive this market in ways that you and I can't even begin to imagine. And in that environment, you want to make sure that this pristine collateral that you hold, that you honor it, you respect it, and you treat it the way it deserves, and that is to be put into self-custody as quickly as you possibly can. So, self-custody, sovereign money. Now, before I talk about some of the high-level solutions, I'll just say that there's a limit to how deep I can go in these public videos in regards to that. I have one-on-one calls. I do them every week. I can go a lot deeper. I can talk to you about personal recommendations based on your situation. If you want to call with me, please, you'll see in the show notes an opportunity to book a call. There's a link down below in the show notes for that. But I want to just talk briefly about collaborative custody before I talk about some of the high-level solutions for self-custody, because collaborative custody is another option that you will have. And, there are a number of institutions and service providers out there. Again, all looks very enticing, all makes a lot of sense. They have great marketing departments who are doing a tremendous job at really, I guess, highlighting the problem as to why you would look at collaborative custody. The main problem being, or that they wish to solve, is the problem of no single point of failure. And so it's generally regarded that the problem with self-custody is that if something happens to you, there is no succession plan. There is no way for your heirs or your successors or your next in line, whoever that might be in your life, there will be no opportunity or way for them to access your Bitcoin. However, that's not true. You can set up a self-custody solution and have a succession plan in place. It's not that hard to set up. It's actually quite simple to do. This is something that I would encourage you to look into, and I'm happy to talk further about this on a personal call. But the reality is, it's not true. You can have a succession plan with self-custody, so don't let that deter you from taking the ultimate sovereign route, which of course is self-custody. That's my view on that. You just have to realize with collaborative custody, there are certain people that it is definitely necessary for. I would say where there's multiple parties who are owners or custodians of Bitcoin, collaborative custody would make sense in that situation. Also, corporations, institutions, companies like Strategy B, which is Michael Saylor's company, which is a public company, custodians of billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. Obviously, they need a multi-sig setup for that. But for the average person, self-custody is enough when you do it right. You have to also understand that when you go down the collaborative custody route, generally the fees are quite prohibitive in some cases, meaning that some solutions actually charge you a holding fee. So whatever the value of your holdings are in Bitcoin, they generally charge you 1% per annum of that. Might not sound like much on the surface, but as Bitcoin's price goes through $1 million, $5 million, $10 million and beyond, you can quickly see how the cost associated with that service in the future is going to really stack up quite significantly. Some people are okay with that, that's fine, but you just have to be aware of that. The other thing is KYC. Okay, the minute you set up a collaborative custody setup, all of a sudden it becomes knowledge to the institution, the third parties that are involved, how much Bitcoin you own. And there's also the know your customer aspect, meaning that these institutions, these companies, they are generally regulated, meaning that they are governed by certain financial laws and rules, such that if there was ever a crisis moment, another pandemic, capital controls, a world war, anything can happen. You and I both know that uh, those those setups, those client lists, etc., could be the subject of any kind of executive order that was imposed on the financial system. So you have to keep that in mind as well. Let's move on. Self-custody. People want to know if they're new to Bitcoin, they've still got Bitcoin on an exchange, and I talk with people all the time who haven't yet taken the next step of actually taking custody of their Bitcoin. What is the best first step to take? Now, I always talk about cold storage being the ultimate solution, an air-gapped wallet that is Bitcoin only and that is open source. Okay, and there are only really a handful of products I'm aware of on the market that fit that bill. And I would encourage you, rather than me tell you what to buy, I would encourage you to do your own research on. I'm going to offer you 3 suggestions and then make a decision that makes sense for you. One is I would look into a cold card queue. I would look into a Foundation Passport Core, and I would look into a Blockstream Jade. And just start there. There's probably 1 or 2 others that I've missed, but I would start there. I would look into those 3. Maybe do a tutorial on YouTube, go to their website, and just make your own decision as to which one you think looks most user-friendly and which one you can get your head around. Typically, there's FAQs on all of these websites. YouTube can be your best friend in terms of tutorials, but none of it's complicated. It's just a new skill, and I would be encouraging you to look at either of those cold storage hardware devices sooner rather than later. In the meantime, what you can do is you can set yourself up with a Bitcoin only software wallet, and one of the best out there is Proton Bitcoin only wallet. If you just Google Proton Bitcoin wallet, you will see Proton is a Swiss company. They also provide encrypted email, an encrypted password solution, so somewhere to store all of your PIN numbers. Obviously not your Bitcoin seed phrase. You never, ever expose that online anywhere. It always stays offline in a safe location. So this is your 12 or 24 word seed phrase. But different aspects of your life where you require PIN numbers, etc., other sensitive information, the Proton password application is really great for that. They also offer a VPN, a virtual private network service. So you can buy a package where you get the email, you get the VPN, you get the password. You also get an encrypted file storage drive. So if you've got sensitive files you want to store, keep encrypted, you can also have that. And then of course you get access to the Bitcoin only wallet. In fact, I think you get the Bitcoin only wallet in its own right as a free application. So I would look into that. So, long term, is that the best solution? Not necessarily. I'd definitely be encouraging you to go to the next level, which is offline, air-gapped, cold storage, Bitcoin only wallet. But in the interim, it's certainly going to be a lot better than having your Bitcoin stored on an exchange to have it stored on a Bitcoin only software wallet such as Proton. Go to their website. It's really, really straightforward. It'll take you minutes to set up. It's really simple to do. But that would be a starting point that I'd encourage those of you who still have your Bitcoin sitting on an exchange. Now, keep in mind when you order these hardware devices, quite often there is backlog of orders. It can take 2, 3, 4 weeks sometimes, depending on the company. Really important when you order a hardware device that you don't compromise by ordering it from a third party, such as Amazon, for example. Nothing against Amazon. I'm just saying that when it comes to Bitcoin hardware, you want to go direct to the manufacturer, go direct to the company that actually supplies the device. Yes, it may take an extra week or two to get here, because typically they're either in Europe or the United States, but it's worth waiting. Okay, so that would be my recommendation there. To have your Bitcoin stored in a Bitcoin-only Proton wallet in the interim, I think would be a smart step. But other than that, you just don't want to make it too complicated. There are extra layers to all of this, but at the risk of this video kind of going on a little bit further than it needs to today, I don't really want to get into that. You can set up passphrases, you can start running your own node, there's encrypted vaults. There's layers to Bitcoin self-sovereignty that I want you to just be aware of, but it doesn't need to be overwhelming and you don't need to rush. Just do one step at a time, improve along each step, and you'll eventually get there to Bitcoin's ultimate promise, which is self-sovereignty. And just remember, to become self-sovereign, in my view, the only way to truly benefit from full self-sovereignty when it comes to Bitcoin is to be in self-custody. So I hope you got something from that today. I want to leave it there. Yeah, let's keep this conversation going. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you want me to elaborate further, if you've got any ideas for future videos, I'm happy to. I'm open to that. And just let me know, and let's keep this conversation going. But I want to leave it there. Thank you for tuning in today. Hope you got value today. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you need to book a call with me, in the show notes you'll see a link to my booking page, and I'd love to meet you on Zoom and to add value, help you on your way. Other than that, have a great day. This is Zane signing out. Bye for now.